really one of the catalysts in my career was when I was playing as a Toronto Maple Leaf. My wife and I, we were fiancés, I guess is the term.
Yeah.
Before we were going to get married, I just was dragging her through the mud of my career. And I just, started to really make a decision from a mental preparation and versatility and agility standpoint that it's not her fault I passed the Rock team tonight. And who am I affecting with this?
Right.
I can't, just because I go home and spoil movie night because I'm, throwing a fit, it doesn't help me erase the turnover, doesn't help me avoid it the next time. It wasn't serving me.
Yeah.
So I think, I've developed lanes where, I live in the hockey lane and I'm doing everything I can to improve and grow and maintain my career. And then I have, a personal lane, I have my relationships, so on and so forth. So for me, it's really been about establishing boundaries around high performance.
Yeah.
Marley's playoff run, because I was AHL eligible.
Yeah.
And I knew in my time with the Leafs, I proved that I could swim. Like I could stay afloat in the NHL on a consistent basis. At least that's what I think I did.
Yeah.
And then with the Marlies, I was like, okay, it's time to, flex my ceiling and to show this. And because I know what I can do in this league, and I took off. I led the whole American League in playoffs and scoring. We didn't even make the finals, and I was a D-man. That was the best hockey I've ever played. But my resiliency at that time really boiled down to I had a conversation. If, Connor Carrick, if you are so competitive and if you care as deeply as you think you do, when you make a mistake, you will learn to get out of your own way. And you will learn, if you are so hell-bent on playing well, improving yourself, this indulgence in the mistake, this replaying, this like hyping of your failure, and all the attention you're going to give it, which is, sabotaging your energy. It's difficult to maintain confidence levels. If you are so smart like you think you are, you'll figure this out.
Right.
And I finally, that was really one of the purest places I've ever played from mentally, where there was just that ability to play well. Good, fine, no problem. I got to do it again. Played poorly. It's over. No big deal. We're playing again tomorrow. And just the pace at which I was able to stay with my goals at that time. Like that is something that when I'm scrambling, when I'm struggling later now in my career, I remember my habits then. How did I talk to myself then? And it's been a great guiding light in my mental routine ever since.
So how do you manage that mental stability or peace or calmness or understanding? We'll go with understanding. How do you handle or understand yourself mentally at the level in which you're performing? Because also, one thing that I think people realize is that you're a human, right? You're a human that goes out and performs at a high level, but you're a human, and so the human part of it, there's so many other stimulations of thought and opinion that comes in as you reach checkpoints in any field. As you raise the level of achievement, if you will, there's like another layer of stimulation that you're not used to. Like when you first get up to the NHL, you can get all the stories of what the NHL media is like or the intensity or the pressure, but until you get there, you just don't know. So it's an immediate uncertainty. So it's almost like you have to create stillness immediately. And you have to get to your mental game immediately, even as you improve and even as you get higher up in whatever field you're in. How do you, because you just said it right there, as I get later in my career, I remember my habits from earlier in my career, the lessons I learned earlier in my career that worked. So what was the controllable of stimulus from even your family, friends, your wife, like anyone closest to you, and then people outside of that close circle, because they all have input too. How did you learn how to navigate what to allow in and what to not allow in?
Oh man, I think the biggest, one of the biggest things that I wrestle with is this concept of like self-sabotage, right?
Yeah.
We as people, we all know what's good for us and we all know what'll make us money and why we'll have 8 abs and what'll make our home life. But it's the application. And it is that getting out of your own way that I think takes daily, if not hourly, if not like minutely attention. So for me, there's so many habits that I've tried to build over time that serve this purpose. So for example, I'm a health nut.
Yeah.
I eat mostly like a paleo style diet, a lot of meat, tons of vegetables, and, sweet potatoes and things like that. But I eat good. I don't drink much, that kind of thing. Well, like 7 years ago, to have a salad for lunch was punishment. Like
Yeah.
it was this, oh my God, I hate myself, and I love my goals so much. I'm going to put myself through this.
Yeah. Wow.
Now
What a
I
great
love the
point.
nourishment, and
Yeah.
it's second nature. So I think it's this way that I've built habits to get out of my own way that I'm probably the
Ability
most
to
proud of.
learn from many different fields of people I've found to be rather successful, and you can touch on that too. But have you kind of seen it as, instead of trying to be extremely right in your routines or your habits or your nutrition, more so just trying to prove yourself a little bit less wrong, and just be able to see it as like, what I'm doing right now, I might shift in a year, but I have the confidence to be able to shift it. And that would mean that I'd have to be able to see that I was somewhat wrong about something I firmly believed in.
Yeah, I think at my core, I believe that I am a lifelong learner. I
Yeah.
believe in growth mindset. And I think I've done a good job attracting, people that are like that in my life professionally. But that also means, if I'm working with you as a coach, for example, say I was working with you, Harv,
Yeah.
and I am in this in this mindset, uh, if, and you are too, and if I feel that I've found a new way or a new coach or new something, I have to honor that, and
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done, different styles of training. I've hired, different people, and I'm not always a believer. I think there's, a tip of the cap to what's gotten you successful, and you have to, try and recognize and instill the lessons. But what got you here won't always get you there.
Mm.
And as a professional, you've got to hold, your convictions, lightly sometimes. That I do feel that every lane where excellence is currently ongoing in my life does lead to like an energy upgrade.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
do.
that's super easy to understand when you think of like, so I'm married. Um, right before you leave for the rink in the morning for practice, you have a big fight with your wife, like huge energy leak.
100%.
It's on you. It's hard to shake. You try to compartmentalize. I struggle with that, sometimes. Versus, when things are good at home, there's just a brightness and a lightness to your effort or attitude. You take for granted until you fight again.
Yeah.
And so, for me, it was just about trying to establish and bring over habits that I've built in hockey, that would lend themselves to other things that I think I'm good at,
Yeah.
and that I really enjoy. I really enjoy podcasts. I really enjoy having good, friendships and things like that. So it's really about, curiosity, trying to maximize, leverage, all off the back of, at first it was just a little bit of avoidance. I couldn't deal with the fact that I was frustrated. I couldn't deal with the fact that I was
Yeah.
feeling like I was failing. And that's kind of just the dark side, good side of being ambitious,
For
right?
your whole life, you envisioned playing under those lights in that arena. And now you get to that arena. So it's kind of a two-part question. Like, one, as you get older, I think it's important to experience things while you're in the thing, because if you don't, you fall into a fragileness of identifying only with hockey, because as that little kid, that's what you've always found happiness out of. So to be able to like be curious about things outside of the sport, you just said it like raises excellence in even hockey. If I'm a really good husband, then I'm probably going to be a better hockey player. Does that make sense? Those translators sort of deals of how
Yeah,
you,
it's like you've got like this poised portfolio that you're trying to build.
yeah,
And when you have other positive sources of momentum in your life, you are just more, bulletproof to the tough day,
mm-hmm.
because you've hedged. You have different arms,
Yeah.
and facets to yourself.